So today sucked, and we're here to tell you all about it. I'm Triss Leder.
And I'm Forrest Leder, and we're talking life, health, and sanity, and finding sunshine in the rain.
Hey, wait, you said something different.
I did.
Why?
Well, it's like...
I get it. You didn't like my alliteration. Post-pandemic, it was a little bit lame. I should have done better, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's the writer's room. Mm-hmm. The writer's room just handed it down to me. No.
Oh, they said this focus tested better or whatever. Focus group tested better.
We've been talking about stuff and had just realized that our podcast was just from the outside looking like it was coming across as being a Debbie Downer kind of thing just because of like the title and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, really it's for us to be able to take a look at like things are hard and what are we doing about it? Mm-hmm. What are we changing? And what's our takeaways from it? How can we learn from the day, even when it's hard?
Right. And our title of Today Sucked is appropriate, but also not as descriptive as we were hoping. And that got me thinking, making a change like that, even though we've already started, and this is day six, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a long week. Making the change kind of got me thinking about making changes, making those conscious choices to change, and how sometimes my concern personally about what making the decision, making the bold choice to change, what that looks like to everyone else. Okay, so let's assume for a second that we have anybody listening at this point, which, yeah. What are they going to think that we changed stuff already? Because that's part of what you're supposed to do. You have an intro, you have an outro that are supposed to be the same. And so it's your listeners can identify with things. So is everybody going to think that episode 6, we did a pretty big change? And how many things in my life I don't do that I want to or I should because I'm so concerned about what people are going to think about that thing happening. And that's in talking about things that get in the way, things that make, positive change, good change, hard change, make it harder to do than it already is. That's a big obstacle, at least for me. And I think it is. So things like that are an obstacle in some capacity for most people. Anybody who says, "Oh, I never care what anybody thinks." I'm not saying they're lying, but my experience, everybody has somebody that they care what they think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like playing footsie with lying there.
Yeah, it's on the edge. Maybe it's wishful thinking of I don't care what anybody thinks.
Name it and claim it.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people, and I'm sitting across from one, that most of the time, most people, it doesn't matter to Forrest what they think. He does what he does because it's the right thing or it's what he wants to do, and doesn't really care. Like, come at me if it's a problem for you. I am the polar opposite, and it is a very difficult thing to reconcile sometimes, especially when the thing that okay, we're already at the point of no talking. Oh boy. Especially when it's something that I really want to do or I really know that I should do. And it begs the question, okay, then how do you get over that?
That's a good question. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm the most qualified to talk about that,
why not? You're pretty good at it.
Yeah, but that's part of the thing is that I have been for a really long time. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, I wasn't great at it as a kid.
Right.
And, I would say that I put a lot of the responsibility for that in my parents, I think. They were really good at encouraging me in just who I was, and
sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just
okay.
Coughing straight into the microphone. Go ahead.
So they were really good at encouraging me in my identity and in seeing my value separate from other people. And really in figuring out what I wanted that identity to be. That it wasn't a thing of I am only one way and I can only be that one way and I'll always be that way and there's no changing. It was really well, I think, taught to me, encouraged in me that I could be the person that I want to be and that I was empowered. That's the thing. I was empowered to explore my identity and think about it as separate from others and important in being that.
Just in simply the fact that it is you and you has value.
And I have value. Yeah.
And I love that. Empowering you to be the, nerdy high school choir kid that walked down the hall reading a Robert Jordan book. That's traditionally not a super cool look.
While wearing a fedora and singing in the hallway.
I can attest to this, y'all. This is true. I never would have done that as a high schooler. I probably wouldn't do that now. And, those specific things, sure. But it's something like that is maybe not as socially cool or whatever. Cool is probably an old person word by this point. But, if it's something that I want to do, I'm in my 30s and it is automatic. It's a reflex to think about the sort of social ramifications for that and what it's going to look like to the people at large that see me and see what I do and whatever else. And I think that's a skill. Thinking about the other person and how you're being perceived is a skill that does have value. I think that it is a good skill to have, to think about how your words and your actions can potentially affect or come across or be interpreted by the people that aren't you, for a bunch of reasons. But that it also, I think, at least in my case, it serves to put maybe some unrealistic thought processes for me as to how I myself and my actions are being perceived when I'm concerned that those people don't like that or don't think that's okay or whatever. And so it's kind of that double-edged sword of I don't know, understanding people.
Well, I think you kind of hit on a point in there of being considerate of other people, thinking about how things impact them is something that you're really excellent at.
Oh, thanks.
And something that I'm not as excellent at.
Hey, you're getting better. And this is the interesting thing. I'm interrupting, but it will come back. Y'all find a partner that makes you better. I make him better. He makes me much better because we're good at different things. We have a lot in common, but we're good at different things. And so we help each other. And it's awesome. And I love it. And I'm sorry. Please continue.
It's okay. I just think, it's interesting that though I've heard it said before that a weakness is like a strength that's taken too far.
That is so absolutely right.
And so, you take that idea of being considerate of others and considering your impact on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take that too far and you get to this place of being afraid to do things because of what other people might think or stuff like that. And then on the flip side, being independent and confident in your own identity, being a good thing, being able to take actions and such. But you take that too far and you come up with a kind of selfish, self-focused kind of thing where other people don't matter as much, or other people's thoughts about things don't matter in the same way, even when maybe they should.
Right. It kind of brings up the whole, and we could do multiple episodes on this topic, but the idea of balance, of, cliche, everything in moderation or whatever you want to put on it. But the idea of balancing things and not going to the extreme with whatever it is, this is the specific topic that we're talking about, but it really is anything. And how do you achieve balance, Forrest?
I don't think you do. I think that it's more just, it's getting comfortable in the wobble.
I like that. I used to, in middle school and high school, I did ballet for a long time. And that's a very good point. When you're balancing up on one point shoe, you don't just get up there and you get balanced and then you're good. No, it's a constant work. You have muscles that are pulling this way and that way and back and forth and all over the place. And if you achieve balance, you might be balanced, but you're still working your butt off.
It's active.
Yeah. Get confident, get comfortable in the wobble. I like that a lot.
So I think that's the takeaway for today. I think that, being okay with making changes when it feels like it's the right thing to do. And then realizing that it's never going to be perfect and getting comfortable with the wobble. So
yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Do you have any other last thought takeaways for today?
No, I don't think so. And we're about to get attacked by our children who are coming home from a friend's house. So we better sign off before the door crashes open.
All right. Well, I am Forrest, and you can find me on Twitter and some other places, YouTube, etc., at Fearless Leader.
And I'm on Twitter at Triss_Joy. And we have other projects and stuff that we work on that we'd love to share with y'all. And we love that you listen to us yappity yap yap. We're having fun, and I think it's been really great for us. And we hope that it is similarly helpful and entertaining for all of you.
Yeah. Having fun. Hope you are too. So, see you next time, suckers.
I'll never not laugh at that.